Everything has a reason, and every suffering knows the way home. Imagine that nothing in your life is random. No smile arrives without a reason. No pain visits by accident. Maybe you can't see it right away. Maybe you've asked 100 times, "Why is this happening to me?" But then one day, when your heart settles like a lake after rain, you will understand. Everything that happens carries a message. In Buddhist teachings, this is not blind faith. It's a profound truth. Nothing lasts forever. Nothing comes without a chain of causes. And everything we encounter is the next chapter of something we once sowed. Impermanence. When everything slips through your hands like wet sand in life, what causes the most suffering isn't sorrow itself, but the fact that beautiful things can't stay long. A love that once set your heart on fire fades. A loved one you thought would always be there leaves. A moment of joy you believed would last forever dissolves. Buddhism calls this anicca, impermanence. Nothing is still. Nothing is fixed. Both happiness and sorrow are always transforming. We suffer because we cling to what's passing, or try to push away what's only visiting. Trees don't cling to leaves. Rivers don't hold back their current. So why must we resist change? Have you ever seen a river stop midstream because it misses the water that's already gone? Or a tree curse autumn for taking its leaves? We say nature knows how to live because it doesn't hold on. Humans are different. We keep old messages, old photos, old people, even when they've long gone. And it's that clinging that becomes the root of pain. It's not loss that breaks us. It's the resistance to change that was always bound to come. Letting go is not losing. It's escaping fear. You don't have to stop loving in order to let go. You just have to stop owning. Stop believing your happiness must be tied to a certain person, a specific job, or a fixed plan. Because when those things change, you collapse. Buddha taught, letting go is not giving up. Letting go is understanding you cannot hold on to what was never truly yours to keep. You can admire a flower without picking it, love someone without possessing them, feel sadness without drowning in it. True freedom begins when you no longer demand that everything go your way. There's a strange kind of peace. It's when you stand in the middle of a great change, and you don't panic, you don't resist, you don't tense up, you just breathe and accept. Not because you're weak, but because you understand. Some things are beyond your control. You can't stop the rain just because you planned a walk. You can't make someone understand you while they're still trying to understand themselves. But you can choose your response. You can accept imperfection, and from there, you can choose to live a little lighter. And then, peace begins here, in this very moment, not after a retreat, not after achieving something grand, but now, when you take one slower breath, when you see things as they are, without needing them to be different. You don't have to change the whole world to be at peace. You just have to stop demanding that the world change for you. That's the first step, and also the hardest. Accepting impermanence is not surrendering. It's learning to live fully. In each shift, each turn, each transformation that life offers, you reap what you sow, but not always immediately. Have you ever seen a seed sprout the moment it's planted in the soil? Of course not. It needs time. It needs light. It needs water. And sometimes, it needs the patience of the sower who has no idea when the first green shoot will appear. Karma works the same way. Not everything you do today brings results tomorrow. Wrongdoing is not always punished right away. Good people are not always rewarded instantly. And that's why many become confused. I live a good life, so why is it still so hard? That person is cruel, and yet they live in comfort and wealth? But the Buddha never said karma is instant. He only said karma is certain. Every thought, word, and action creates a wave. Imagine throwing a stone into a still lake. Ripples spread outward, touching the shore, the lilies, even circling back to touch you, in one form or another. That's how your thoughts, words, and actions move through this universe. You might forget. Others might not notice. But karma never forgets. It's not written on paper. It's etched into the energy you generate. A harsh word can echo longer than you imagine. A silent, jealous thought is already an arrow shot from your heart. And conversely, a small act of kindness, so small no one notices, is a seed falling into fertile ground. One day, it will bloom. When bad people rise quickly, but good people keep patience. You may have seen people with bad intentions rise like kites in the sky. They deceive, manipulate, step on others, and still succeed. But remember, rising with the wind is never as steady as rooting in the soil. The Buddha said, "The wicked may know peace for a time, but when karma ripens, no one escapes." You don't have to wish for their punishment. Karma doesn't need anger to function. It's a natural law, like gravity. What goes up will come down. Karma isn't punishment. It's a mirror. When you plant a smile, you invite warmth. When you plant anger, you live in a world where pain is always near. The beauty and the challenge is this: karma isn't only about what you do, but also how you think. A person who acts kindly but is full of hatred inside, sooner or later, must face that same inner energy. On the other hand, someone who quietly cultivates compassion each day, even if unseen by others, is slowly building an inner world where good karma gently, patiently begins to return. And the most important truth: old karma doesn't chain your future. You are not a victim of fate. You are the gardener of your own life field. If you've sown wrongly in the past, it's okay. What matters is what you sow from today onward. You can begin again. With a gentler thought, a kinder word, a small action filled with good intention. Maybe the world won't change overnight, but your destiny has already begun to shift. The most miraculous thing about karma, it's always waiting for you to return. Karma doesn't punish you for your mistakes. It simply brings you back to the lesson you haven't finished learning. And if today you choose to act with awareness, think with responsibility, and live with compassion, then you are healing not just the past, but also your future. Letting go isn't loss, it's opening up. We often think letting go means giving up, that it's a loss, a weakness. But that's not what the Buddha taught. Letting go, in Buddhism, is the art of releasing what no longer belongs to you. It doesn't mean you stop loving. It means you stop clinging to what causes suffering. You can still love someone, but not bind them. Still dream, but not collapse if life doesn't follow your plan. Still feel pain, but not let that pain define you forever. We suffer because we believe things must stay. We hold on to people who have already left. We hold on to jobs that no longer suit us. We hold on to an ego that always wants to be right, even when it isolates us. We hold on because we're afraid of emptiness. But just as clenched fists can't receive anything new, we can only truly live when our hands are light enough to welcome what is coming. Acceptance isn't giving up, it's strength. Many think acceptance is weakness, that it means giving up the right to resist. But in truth, acceptance is a form of strength, quiet but unshakable. When you accept that someone doesn't love you the way you hoped, you stop hurting more. When you accept failure as part of learning, you rise faster. When you accept yourself with all wounds, flaws, and regrets, you begin to heal. We suffer not because of what happens, but because we didn't want it to happen that way. Peace doesn't come from changing the world. It comes from stopping the demand that the world must change to fit us. Every challenge hides a gift. Have you ever gone through something painful and later felt grateful for it? A breakup that led you back to yourself. A job loss that opened a new path. A loss that helped you cherish presence. That is what the Buddha called the lesson hidden within adversity. Not all pain comes with reasons we understand right away. But all pain carries a potential for transformation, if we are still enough to hear it. Happiness isn't in the future. It's in this very moment in the end. After all the teachings, the experiences, the wounds, and rebirths, you realize one thing. Every spiritual path leads to the same place, the present moment. Not a place where all problems are gone, but where you no longer run. No more demands. No more, this must happen for me to be happy. You breathe in, breathe out, and know, this is life, not tomorrow, not a memory. But right now, when you are fully present with yourself. And if there's one seed to plant daily, it's awareness. You can't control all karma. You can't stop life from changing. You can't avoid being hurt. But you can choose kindness. You can respond with understanding instead of reacting blindly. You can learn to listen, even when life speaks the language of loss. And that, truly, is the path to liberation. Everything happens for a reason, not to break you, but to wake you. If anything stays with you after this story, let it be this reminder. You don't have to change the whole world. You only have to change how you see it, one moment at a time. Because in that very moment, a seed of happiness is already beginning to grow,